You step into your garden full of hope, and there they are again. Aphids clinging to the buds of your roses, holes torn through your cabbage leaves, Colorado potato beetles partying across your plants like this is the only garden for miles around. And that's despite the fact that you sprayed it every week and even picked up the beasts by hand each day. What you probably don't know yet is this. 2 of the cheapest metals on Earth may be able to solve this exact problem for just a few dollars, without constant spraying. And yet, almost nobody talks about it. Stay with me, because today I'm going to show you why copper can actually repel insects, why zinc plays a surprisingly important role in this process, is how this method was used on farms for decades, and why this knowledge almost completely disappeared after World War II. At first, what's happening here sounds like garden mythology, but it isn't. It's based on physics, on electrochemistry, and on something modern pest control has largely forgotten. Sometimes the most powerful solution is also the simplest one. If I told you that 2 of the cheapest metals in the world could permanently solve almost every insect problem in your garden, would you believe me? No spraying, no picking bugs off by hand, no constant retreatments, no endless cycle of switching chemicals because insects developed resistance again. This exact method was already being used successfully in the 1860s, and in some places, it still is today. Not by you, obviously. That's why you're here. If you've ever grown potatoes, then you already know Colorado potato beetles, those tiny striped monsters capable of stripping a plant down to bare stems in just 2 days. But with the old system I'm about to show you, your plants can thrive again. Not a single beetle, not a single chewed leaf, no more scraping disgusting orange larvae from the undersides of leaves, no more collecting beetles by hand, no more spraying. Why am I so confident? Because I use this system myself. I place thin copper strips into the soil around the base of each plant. And the secret behind it? Most crawling insects refuse to cross copper, not because of the smell, not because of poison, but because of an electrical reaction. And now, it gets interesting. Did you know that many insects carry tiny electrical charges on their bodies? The moment they touch the boundary between copper and moist soil, a microscopic galvanic reaction occurs. For us, it's practically impossible to notice, but for tiny organisms, it appears to be deeply unpleasant. Slugs are especially sensitive to it. Their moist slime intensifies the reaction even further. But also, beetles, earwigs, cutworms, ants, pillbugs, and many other crawling pests avoid copper barriers surprisingly consistently. And this old phenomenon wasn't scientifically studied until much later. In a study conducted in the 1990s, researchers observed a 96% reduction in slug damage. Yes, you heard that correctly, 96%. Now you're probably thinking, fine, but what about the insects that fly in from above? And honestly, that's a fair question. Because copper alone is only half the story. Copper mainly stops crawling insects. But what about flying pests, cabbage moths, flying beetles, moths? That's where the second metal enters the picture. Zinc. When copper and zinc both come into contact with moist soil, a weak electrochemical circuit forms, a kind of low-level energy field. The soil itself becomes the electrolyte. In other words, you're essentially creating a tiny low-voltage battery beneath your garden. It sounds absurd, but this is exactly where things become fascinating. Researchers discovered that garden beds using both copper and zinc didn't just show lower pest pressure, they also showed higher microbial activity in the soil itself. And yet, this method almost completely vanished from public memory. Why? Because simple, durable solutions are difficult to monetize repeatedly. You buy a roll of copper once. A chemical spray system instead gets sold every single season. What most people don't realize is this. Copper-zinc systems were considered standard practice on many American farms until 1948. Then DDT entered the market. And after that came wave after wave of industrial pesticides. As research funding increasingly shifted toward chemical pest control, older methods slowly disappeared from agricultural books and farming manuals. Not because they were banned, but because nobody talked about them anymore. By 1960, an entire generation of American gardeners had forgotten they ever existed, except for one traditional community that simply continued doing what it had always done, passing knowledge down internally from generation to generation. I'm talking about the Amish. And while modern agriculture spent 70 years jumping from one pesticide to the next, watching each one slowly lose effectiveness as insects evolved resistance, the Amish continued producing clean harvests with 2 metals and a hammer. And now, this becomes practical. Because the system itself is surprisingly simple to build, you need copper sheet or copper strips, galvanized nails or small zinc strips, and existing wooden stakes or trellises. Cut the copper into narrow strips, roughly 2 inches wide, about 8 inches long. Then place those strips vertically into the soil around your garden bed. But pay close attention here. Many gardeners who have heard about copper simply lay it on top of the soil. That does almost nothing. The copper must stay in contact with moist soil, at least 1 to 2 inches deep. Only the top edge should remain visible. Next, attach galvanized nails or small zinc pieces above ground level onto wooden stakes, tomato supports, fences, or trellises. You can simply hammer them directly into the wood until the heads sit flush with the surface. Ideally, the zinc should sit roughly at knee height, because many flying insects approach plants at exactly that level before landing. During the first week, you probably won't notice anything, but then something fascinating happens. The system slowly begins building itself. Slugs disappear, ants start avoiding the beds, aphid colonies collapse, and many flying pests suddenly prefer other plants instead. But it goes even deeper than that, because copper and zinc don't just act as barriers, they also influence the plants themselves. Both metals are essential micronutrients for plant health. In tiny amounts, they help plants develop stronger cell walls, deeper root systems, and more resilient tissue structures. And that makes plants chemically less attractive to many insects. Pests are remarkably good at detecting weak plants. Sick plants release entirely different chemical signals than strong, healthy ones. So the metals perform 2 functions at the same time. They repel pests, and they strengthen the plant itself. Now maybe you're thinking, I've had this garden for decades. I'm not starting over now. And honestly, you don't have to. You can leave everything exactly as it is. Just follow the instructions from this video. You can retrofit your existing garden in a single weekend for less than $25. Of course, there are limits. Under severe pest pressure or large monoculture conditions, this system alone often won't solve everything. But that's not really the point. Its real strength is that it works continuously in the background, quietly, passively, without constant spraying,